All right, chat. Missing 411. People who vanished off the face of the earth. YouTube viewers, if you guys want to watch the original video without my commentary / reaction, first link in the description. Tap in. All right, baby. Let's get into it. You already know we love the Maverick Files here, bro. Love them. Love them. It's still dragging me down. Send help someone who has caffeine. Oh, snap. Chat, no more swears. We're keeping this video monetized
today.
There is
nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
Oh, wait, do we have a guest here? Yo, what's up, Soap? Josh, that's wild. Following stories may be difficult for some viewers. All right, chat, you've been warned. You've been warned, dude.
There is a certain mystique to the wilderness. Simple in theory, complex in nature, and how it remains unforgiving can be disturbing. In many cultures, the wilderness has conjured itself up to being one of a god, one of brutal fates and astonishing beauty. It riddles itself with unexplained disappearances and supernatural encounters. Nature stands as a testament and as a reminder of untamed power.
Oh, subtitles? Oh, you were joking? Oh, okay. I'm getting immersed here, dude, okay? In the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Database, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered each year. Nationwide, there are roughly 6.5 missing persons for every 1,000 people. What? What? John Doe.
Mount Shasta, Northern California. A natural landmark stunning those who traverse it. Yet, it holds deep down a hotspot for the unexplainable. One of the most perplexing cases associated with this area is the disappearance of an anonymous young boy in 2011. After a decade, the case continues to captivate the human mind due to its bizarre details and implications. In September 2011, a 3.5-year-old boy was camping with his family at Fowler's Campground near Mount Shasta, a common, if not familiar, trip which has been visited for years by the family.
This is the intro to Five Nights at Freddy's, or this is the story to Five Nights at Freddy's, dude! This is the story to Five Nights at Freddy's, bro!
But that day, curiosity got the best of the family's child as he wandered away from the campsite. It didn't take long for his family to realize he was missing.
Natural selection.
They immediately reported his disappearance to the authorities. As authorities got on the case, other members of the family were joined by residents at the campsite to begin a search of the campground and its surrounding slopes. As word spread about the missing toddler, hundreds of search and rescue personnel scoured the area. 5 hours after the boy was last seen, he would be spotted by a deputy hiding within a bush. He was unharmed, but shaken and visibly upset. This right here could be the end of the story. The boy was found and tragedy was averted. But to many others, it's only the beginning. After
Missing child robot grandma in national parks? What?
the boy was reunited with his family, he would proceed to tell his grandmother, Kathy, his full story on what actually happened, about where he had gone and what he had seen during the time he was missing.
What?
He described being taken by what he called another grandmother.
What?
One who looked identical to Kathy.
Oh, yeah, I don't know this story. I thought I did. I thought I knew this one.
There was just one difference. This other grandmother, according to the little John Doe, was actually a robot. This entity would lead him to a cave in the mountain, where he described the cave as being filled with strange objects like old guns, purses, and bags covered in dust. Inside the cave, he saw other people, but Their faces were quote-unquote distorted, and they never moved the whole time he was there. He said that eventually the machine walked him back to the bush and left him at the spot where he was found 5 hours later. It might be easy to think that John Doe's story is simply a demonstration of a child's vivid imagination, but Kathy believes the level of detail in his retelling far exceeds his age and his level of comprehension. Kathy then proceeds to add another layer to this mystery.
What?
Just 1 year earlier, Kathy herself had a strange experience at the same campground that her grandson went missing from. She recalls waking up face down on the ground and finding puncture wounds on the back of her neck.
What?
Some write Kathy off as possibly seeking attention, harnessing the public's sympathy for the John Doe and refocusing it on herself. But, ironically enough, this story is far from being the first strange occurrence to be reported around Mount Shasta. The mountain's natural...
What if instead of Mount Shasta, it was called Mount Freaksta, and a bunch of freaky stuff happened, like people getting their toes sucked, huh? What if that was it, huh?
beauty creates a
You
setting
ever thought
that
about
is
that?
both awe-inspiring and treacherous. And yet, the appeal of the mountain is undeniable. Visitors flock to the area not only to partake in the vast landscape, but also in hopes of discovering the urban legends associated with it. According to legend folklore, there is an advanced species known as the Lemurians,
What?
who fled their sinking continent of Lemuria and established a hidden city beneath Mount Shasta.
Have you ever heard the legend of the Lemurians, the
Yo.
highly technology advanced civilization said to have been on a lost sunken continent called Lemuria? According to the
Mushroom! What's up, OG? How's it going?
legend, some of the Lemurians managed to escape to Mount Shasta when their continent sank due to some unspecified catastrophe. There they established the city of Telos beneath the mountain. The Lemurians are said to be tall, graceful beings with fair skin, long hair, and abnormally long necks, and they are believed to possess advanced technologies and psychic powers.
The only reason I even mention the Lemurians is because they are described as having advanced technology. Therefore, many on the internet connect the robot clone to being a work of the Lemurians. Sightings and encounters with the Lemurians have persisted over the years.
What?
And in the 1930s, a series of fires that could not be extinguished by conventional means were reported on the slopes of the mountain. So, locals attributed these fires to the Lemurians, and these stories were further supported by occasional sightings of tall, robed figures wandering the mountain's forests. The legends surrounding Mount Shasta extend beyond just the Lemurians. There have also been numerous accounts of mysterious lights and sounds emanating.
They can possess my cock down their neck? Yo, Mushroom, are you being naughty right now? Do you need a spanking? Huh? My bad, man. You didn't deserve that. Or maybe you did. My bad, dude.
From the mountain, along with sightings of Bigfoot. Theories about UFO sightings and strange lights further contribute to Mount Shasta's reputation, now beginning to host itself as a UFO hotspot. These theories establish this robot grandmother
Mushroom, you're good, brother.
as potential alien-like craft. The combination of advanced mountain species, UFO sightings, and unexplained disappearances causes cases like those of John Doe to begin to become normalized due to the mountain's aura of mystique, feeding into the likeliness of fictional storytelling, causing grassroots fame and recognition. While some skeptics attribute the 3-year-old's tale of machine clones to a vivid imagination or a trauma from being lost, others do believe he may have genuinely encountered something otherworldly. Many who venture into the wilderness return with stories of strange encounters, but some do not return at all.
And that's where we start our story. Christopher Carlton. I don't know how to say his last name.
Nature often evokes a sense of awe and mystery, but sometimes disappearances can happen in seemingly ordinary places. Such is the case.
This is not a
Christopher
game.
Tompkins.
This is real life shit.
20 years after he went missing from Harris County, the disappearance of Christopher Tompkins remains unsolved to this day.
Tompkins was working in a wooded area near County Line Road off Warm Springs Road on January 25th, 2002 when he
January
Otherworldly is how they explain my dick. Sorry, IDK why I said that. Anyways, dude, for some reason, this video reminds me of this old music video for a song called Runaway Train, and the video featured faces of missing children in the US at the time. When I was a kid, I was terrified of the video because I thought that shit would happen to me. Damn, bro.
January 25th.
Music video
2002.
trauma.
20-year-old Christopher Carlton Tompkins started his day like any other, waking up, having breakfast, kissing his mother goodbye, and driving his car into work in Columbus, Georgia. Once all of his co-workers arrived, they piled into one vehicle and headed out together to their job site for the day. The short drive was uneventful, and soon, they arrived at a wooded area near County Line Road off Warm Springs Road.
You're in Georgia, you're cooked, pal. Yeah, you're cooked. What was Training COD Zombies called before it was called Training? Railing Zombies.
They were to conduct their survey. The morning passed as usual, and after the crew had lunch together, they returned to their work.
Sideways? Yeah, what?
Christopher was chatting with a colleague during a task, and for a moment, the two turned away from each other to focus on their specific jobs. But when the colleague looked back up to where Christopher had been working just a few minutes earlier, Chris was gone. The crew were working in a semi-rural area, with the group positioning each member no more than 50 feet apart from the next person, as if they were standing in a long, spread-out line.
Kronos! What's up, brother? I heard the video ended up finding like 25 missing people. I do not think all happy endings, but it is cool. A video like that could still help. Yeah, dude. Especially for it coming out in 1991. Damn, bro. That was a long-ass time ago. What's up? What are we doing? We're reacting to missing 411 people who vanished off the face of the earth. Yeah.
It was only a few minutes after their lunch break that Chris and his nearest colleague started to chat. When his workmate turned around to restart the conversation, Chris was nowhere to be seen.
According to law officials, on January 25th of 2002, Mr. Tompkins was working with his survey crew in a wooded area in Ellerslie, Georgia. He was with 3 co-workers who worked approximately 50 feet from one another. One of the employees looked away from Tompkins for a moment. By the time he glanced at his area again, Tompkins had disappeared
Both,
around
Josh.
noon.
Naturally, the co-worker assumed Chris had gone for a bathroom break, or had gone to grab something from the truck. Or perhaps he needed to make a call and had decided to take it in private. Whatever the reason for Chris not being around, there was no cause for concern. Yet. But as the co-worker noticed 15 minutes had gone by, and then 30, and then an hour, with still no sign of Chris, he began to worry. He told his workmates that he couldn't find Chris, and they all converged on the spot where he was last working. On the ground were Christopher's last signs of existence.
What?
A collection of tools and 12 cents in change. The crew spread out into the surrounding wooded area, and for the next 2 hours, they searched high and low for any sign of Chris, calling out his name as they looked, but they received no reply and found no more signs of life. Anne, Christopher's mother, was notified of Chris's disappearance at approximately 4:15 p.m. that day. She immediately drove to Ellerslie along with several members of her family to begin a ground search of her own. Later that afternoon, she attempted to report her son missing to the police, but she was told she had to wait 24 hours for the report
What?
to be
That's a lie. That's a lie. You don't have to wait 24 hours. You're supposed to report immediately.
filed.
You can report at any point.
Due to Chris being an adult, Anne and members of the community continued to search the wooded area near where Chris was last seen. The following morning, a single work boot was found on the ground. Nearby, blue fabric fibers were found caught up in a barbed wire fence. Both of these items were discovered just a few hundred feet from where the crew were working. Anne identified that the boot belonged to Chris, and that the fibers matched the pants he wore to work that day. Police officers would finally visit the scene and begin an official search of the area. They were accompanied by search dogs and bloodhounds, but the dogs failed to find a scent to follow.
Where I used to live, my dad had a friend who knew this person down the road from us. And one day, she just walked out of her house and never came back. To this day, she's still not found. Shit is scary. Yeah, bro. That's fucking wild.
Ponds in the area were also examined, but still, there was no trace of Christopher. As happens in many cases when a dog goes missing, the authorities downplayed Chris's disappearance. They believed he had probably decided he wanted a change in life and had left on his own free will. Chris's employer backed up this theory when he told the police that Chris had been acting strangely in the weeks prior to his disappearance. His opinion was that Chris had decided to walk into the woods without telling anyone and had disappeared to start a new life.
What?
But Anne could not be convinced that her loving and devoted son would simply leave without saying anything. And in her perspective, nothing about Chris's behavior was out of the ordinary leading up to him going missing. But because the authorities had no evidence of a crime and no sign of foul play, his disappearance simply became another piece of paperwork in the Harris County Sheriff's Department.
It's fucking crazy,
That would be
bro.
until 5 months later.
Huh?
In July 2002, a farmer who owned the land just 900 yards from where Chris went missing found a work boot half submerged in mud on his property. The boot was quickly identified as belonging to Chris. A subsequent search of the area turned up no new items of interest. This would lead to many theories surrounding this case, some credible and some more far-fetched. Besides the idea that Chris simply got up and left on his own free will, there are many who believe that he was a victim of foul play. Most of these theories center around the idea that Chris's boots were discarded as he ran for his life. But law enforcement took the boots as having an entirely opposite meaning. They pointed to the location of his boots as proof that he had walked away from the site. He had gone through the wooded area and onto a highway on the other side. After that, they speculate that Chris simply got into a vehicle and drove away, never to be seen again. Others believe Chris's colleagues have something to do with his disappearance. For starters, Anne wasn't told about Chris going missing from the worksite until several hours after he was last seen. But yet, one of the workers called his own wife almost immediately to say that they couldn't find him. Another one of the employees hired an attorney while the search for Chris was still underway.
What?
And he refused to give a statement to the police. None of the crew have ever been officially named as a person of interest.
What?
In 2009, a set of human remains was found in Harris County, but these were determined not to belong to Chris. Christopher Tompkins has not been seen or heard from in the 22 years since that day, proving that broad daylight and a seemingly bland stretch of road can still be the scene.
What's up, Batcats? How's it going, brother?
Mysteries.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. It kind of sounds like the police probably fumbled this one a little bit. Yeah, dude, that's rough, bro. They didn't even think that there could be anything wrong here. They're like, oh yeah, nothing's wrong. He's just trying to start a new life. Oh, the dude that hired the attorney won't give us a statement. Nah, he's not sus. Oh yeah, they didn't call his mother to let him know that he was missing till hours later. Oh, nah, not sus, dude. No, they're good.
People go missing in the mountains at a disturbingly high rate. Most of them are found safe and well, if not a little shaken by their experience. But there are human disappearances that defy explanation.
What?
Ones where there are so many missing pieces to the puzzle that it's difficult to identify what is and is not relevant. The story of Mary Lucille Sloan is one of those cases. On the 3rd of September 2015, Mary left to go on a hiking trip with 7 other adults. What was supposed to be an adventurous outing and a chance to connect with nature and each other turned into a mystery which remains unsolved to this day. Mary was a 53-year-old woman from Pima County, and in early 2015, Mary experienced a devastating loss of her husband, which left...
I love mountains, but knowing how this works, I would go missing. I would end up eating my own foot for fun, just for funsies.
15. Mary experienced a devastating loss of her husband, which left her struggling with immense grief. In an effort to cope with her pain...
let me guess. Oh, she disappeared to start a new life because her husband died. Let me guess. That's gonna be why we didn't fucking do a full search for this woman?
Maintain some semblance of normalcy. her family encouraged her to join a local walking club. She used to love getting out into nature with her husband, but since his passing, she rarely ventured outdoors. The walking club seemed like an optimistic opportunity for Mary, one which would reconnect her with the natural world that she once cherished. To find some solace among a group of like-minded people, it was meant to be a healing experience, a way to find peace in the wilderness and to remember the joy she once shared with her husband. After the group had spent several hours in the rugged terrain, they set up camp in an isolated area, located more than a mile off of a Forest Service access road. It was a strange choice given the fact that there were several established campsites in the area, and all of the sites had better access to the trails,
That's wild.
ones which the group intended to explore the next day. But perhaps their choice of camp was based on the visual outlook. On one side of the open area was a dense forest which blanketed the horizon with a deep green, and on the other side, the terrain opened up to a steep rocky slope that presented breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains. And for those who dared to look over the edge, they would find it impossible to see the ground below, making it both extraordinary and terrifying. In between the forest and the cliff, the ground was carpeted with pine needles and scattered with rocks and underbrush, which meant the group's tents had to be set up some distance.
Face of the mountain? Okay, I gotta see it now. Yeah, I ain't seen it, pal. It's great of you to be able to see it, but yeah, I can't see that shit, brother.
Scattered with rocks and underbrush and the
Hold on.
cliff. The ground was carpeted with pine needles and scattered with rocks and underbrush, which meant the group's tents had to be set up some distance apart. Mary chose a spot where the back of her tent was facing directly onto the steep ravine below, and that evening, the group ate dinner together and enjoyed the cool, crisp mountain air. As night fell, temperatures dropped significantly, which is typical.
Chat, how do you poop while you're camping? You know what I'm saying, dude? I couldn't do that, bro. I couldn't do that. That's why I can't go camping for long. I'm trying to go camping for like one night, dude. I ain't trying to go on no expedition for like 2 weeks, you know? Why does Josh get the trip? I don't know, dude. Fuck. I want to turn up one time. Anyways, yeah, dude. I ain't trying to like poop over a fucking log. Do you want the real answer? Yeah, sure. And you can give me a fun one too if you got one. But yeah, bro, I ain't trying to poop over a log and then like bury it and shit like that. And then you haven't showered or anything. You're like real nasty and gross. Ugh.
Due to the 9,000 feet of altitude the camp was located at. At around 8:30 p.m., they decided to call it a night and headed to bed in their separate tents. And the next morning, sky was clear and a warmth greeted everyone gently. The hiking group eagerly packed up their equipment to continue the trek. Everyone except Mary.
No.
Mary hadn't stepped.
You shit in a bag and that's your food for the next day? Duh. Greenish, be so for real with me right now.
Out. The others called out, but
Oh, it's kind of like a taco in a bag. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, all right.
there was no response. So a member of the group decided to unzip her tent and see if Mary was okay. But she wasn't there. Inside Mary's tent was all of her personal belongings, including her cell phone, purse, and camping gear. In fact, the only thing missing was Mary herself and the clothes that she was wearing the night before.
What?
There was one other aspect of her tent which stood out. It looked like Mary's bed hadn't even been slept in.
What?
Which meant Mary had likely never made it to bed the previous evening. The search for Mary Sloan commenced on the morning of September 4th, when a member of the walking group alerted a Forest Service officer about her disappearance. Mary's official missing persons report listed her as 5'3" and weighing 110 pounds. She had blonde hair and was last seen wearing a green shirt and blue.
No, but you dig a fucking hole in the ground and you squat and do your best to hit it, then you bury it and then use nature's toilet paper, leaves, and pray it's enough to wipe your ass and not be nasty? What? What? No, you're fucking with me, dude. I'm taking dude wipes. I don't give a shit, dude. Fucking Earth's already fucking destroyed enough, bro. The Earth's destroyed enough. It can handle a couple dude wives from your boy. Yeah, Josh, I'm looking at this image. I still don't see it, brother. Yeah. Let me look at this. Fuck out of here. Yeah, Josh, you're tripping, brother. Yeah, you need to, I think you need some, antipsychosis medicine. Like, you only carry what you want? Yeah, what? It looks like a face? Oh, I know you didn't mean an actual face, yeah. Do I need to draw it? Yeah, draw it.
Blue jeans. The Graham County Sheriff's Office, along with various other agencies, quickly mobilized search and rescue teams. But the rugged terrain and limited accessibility posed significant challenges for searchers. There was only so far that they could go on foot, which did not include the steep ravine behind Mary's tent.
Do you want to have to carry dude wipes miles, though? Yes. Yes, I will carry dude wipes miles so that I can feel that my butt is clean, okay? And it can double as a shower source. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never had a dude wipe shower? Have you never been on a DIY tour, huh?
The day after she was reported missing, helicopters and specialist search teams joined the hunt.
Damn, bro.
A specialized rope rappelling team from Maricopa County were lowered into the ravine behind the campsite, along with cadaver dogs. The base of the ravine is nearly impossible to access on foot, even for the most experienced hikers. It would take 2 to 3 days of rugged hiking to even get to the vicinity of where Mary's body might have gone, had she fallen into the area. Despite their extensive efforts, searchers were unable to find any trace of Mary.
Oh, lakes? Okay, yeah, that's fire, actually. Sorry.
There caused the search to be called off for a couple of days, and when it resumed, it seemed even less likely that there would be a positive outcome. Mary Sloane's case has led to numerous theories. Given the remote location, abduction seemed an unlikely possibility. Misadventure was a plausible theory, with some believing she might have wandered off after dinner when the rest of the group went to bed. Maybe she wanted to explore or use the bathroom, and then stumbled and fell off one of the nearby cliffs. Another theory suggested that Mary might have intentionally disappeared. There's no doubt she was grieving the recent loss of her husband, which might have driven her to seek a more permanent solitude or escape. Mary's personal circumstances added a perplexing layer to this theory. However,
I was going to say, what was her personal life like? Like, did she feel like she had somebody that, like, cared about her?
those closest to her found it hard to believe that she would leave without any notice or plan.
Yeah.
Especially in such a dangerous terrain. The searchers spent a week tirelessly attempting to gain access to more challenging locations on Mount Graham.
Sanity!
But
I'm doing
eventually,
great.
The search for Mary
How are you?
was called off. No trace of Mary Sloane has been found in the nearly 10 years since that day.
Damn, bro. Damn. All right, let's see. Josh is trying to show us something here. Josh, you serious right now? This is not real. It's not real. Let me look at this. So this is the one with the smiley face. This is. Yeah, you guys got a different kind of tism than me. Yeah. Oh, I've hiked. Thanks, Boy Scouts. And that house, 16-year-old me and a bunch of my fucking tween had to clean. So it was fun, but also fuck. Never again will I be surrounded by a bunch of male teenagers while I'm trying my best to not be gay. Oh. Oh, yeah. I know this story. Well, like, at least I know the photo. I don't know if I know the full story. Oh yeah, didn't this lead him you know what? Sorry, I won't spoil it to anybody that hasn't seen the shit.
Riker is a vibrant and lively
Oh yeah, this is the guest. Yeah, this is the guest commentator.
3-year-old with a distinct mop of red hair. The day he went missing began like any other summer's day. Riker was outside, playing in his front yard with his beloved dog and Dad. The three were enjoying the sunny weather, hunting for bugs and simply relishing in the simple joys of a summer's day. After some time, Riker's father went inside, for an unknown reason, but feeling...
Dude, hell yeah, Sanity. Also, 2-week hike? That's fucking crazy, bro.
confident that his son was safe in their familiar and secure environment. However, when his dad returned outside only a brief moment later, he found only the dog.
No.
Riker was nowhere to be seen. At first, his dad didn't panic. He assumed his son was nearby.
Leave the 3-year-old alone? You serious right now, bro? That's really what you was thinking?
Possibly playing hide and seek or exploring close to home. But as minutes turned into hours, and as there was still no sign of Riker, concern turned to alarm. Approximately 2 hours after the boy's disappearance, his parents contacted the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department, and the missing persons investigation was launched for 3-year-old Riker Webb.
Oh, so they were allowed to launch it instantly, but the other people weren't? That's the thing, bro. It's literally... We were watching a video about it the other day. They were like, yeah... Oh, no. I think I was watching with Chucky. And they're like, the it has to be 24 hours thing is a lie. It's a complete lie. You can report a missing person whenever you want.
Authorities immediately launched a search operation. The response was swift and thorough, involving local volunteers, ATVs, scent dogs, boats, and even helicopters. Search teams combed through the dense...
So they acted quick. I don't think it's even just because this is a minor. I think it's literally just that police force sounded like they were doing everything they could not to have to, like, do anything about that case. Like, I think that's just literally, like, a shitty group of cops. Like, straight up. That first story. Or the second story? Yeah, the second story.
Forest surrounding Troy, hoping to find any trace of the missing toddler. However, by that evening of Friday, June the 3rd, 2022, there was still no signs of the young toddler. And unfortunately, severe weather forced the search to be...
Oh, this happened in 2022? I didn't realize that this was recent.
...terminated early that first evening. The following day, on June the 4th, a code red alert was issued to local residents, urging them to search their properties for any signs at all of the missing boy. Despite these extensive efforts, there was still no clear indicators of Riker's movement. This was particularly puzzling because at only 3 years old, Riker had limited stamina and mobility. Furthermore, the scent dogs on the case, known for their incredible tracking abilities of up to 12 miles, failed to pick up even a hint of his trail. On the second day of the search, morale was low. The community and Riker's family were growing increasingly worried. The thought of a 3-year-old, alone, cold and scared, in the wilderness was distressing. Moreover, the presence of predators such as grizzly bears and mountain lions in the area only heightened their fears. The only unusual, yet promising sign found during the search were strangely scattered and overturned rocks, but still no footprints or scents to be picked up. On Sunday, June the 6th, authorities received a breakthrough. A frantic phone call came from a local resident who had heard noises in a shed on his property.
Oh?
Initially, the man assumed it was an animal and had went to investigate. However, to his surprise, the sounds were coming from a terrified child.
What?
Huddled beneath a bag of yard clippings.
Oh, I didn't realize that they found him.
Authorities rushed to the scene and confirmed that the child was indeed the missing Riker Webb, and astonishingly, he had been found 2.5 miles away from his home. The distance that Riker had covered was staggering. For an adult, 2.5 miles can be walked in about 40 minutes on flat terrain and at a brisk pace. However, for a 3-year-old, especially through dense woodland and in severe weather conditions, it seemed an almost impossible feat. Despite this, police ruled out foul play. They theorised that Riker's natural curiosity had led to him wandering off whilst bug hunting, and that somehow he had sought shelter in the shed during the initial thunderstorms. A curious detail added another layer to the mystery. The description of Riker's clothing provided to the search and rescue team didn't match the blue onesie that he was found wearing. This discrepancy could simply be due to a lapse in memory on the parents' part, but it remains an odd detail in the already perplexing case.
Yeah.
This striking photo of Riker is the image most closely associated with his case. Whilst many view it with a sense of horror, I encourage you to see it as the face of a survivor. His wide-eyed stare, smudged with dirt, represents a young boy who triumphed against all odds in the perilous woodlands.
True. That is very
Thankfully,
true.
Riker was found without any significant harm and was safely returned to his parents.
Maybe the dad will fucking keep his eye on him next time, dude. Oh, yeah, I'll just leave the fucking 3-year-old in the wilderness by itself with the dog. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll just go right in. Bro, what? I might be dumb, but I'm not that fucking dumb.
His story,
Get
though
that dude an
harrowing,
an IQ test.
ended on a positive note. However, it serves as a stark reminder that not all missing persons cases conclude so fortunately.
Uh-oh.
Father's Day, June 14th, 1969. The Martin family had planned their annual family tradition of hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The trip consisted of grandfather Clyde Martin, father William Martin, older sibling Douglas Martin, and younger sibling Dennis Martin. During the 1960s, Dennis was referred to as quote-unquote different from his neighbors and family. But in modern terms, Dennis Martin had a neurological and developmental disorder.
Oh.
However, it never hindered his physique or his ability to think for himself. So when the family trip came, the family was more than ready to go. The trip started from Cades Cove before landing in Russell Field, where they set up camp for the night. The following day, they would hike from Spence Field near the Appalachian Trail, where they would plan to camp overnight. During the day,
I don't think I know this one.
the Martin family had met up
Or maybe
and
I do?
befriended another group. Ironically, another Martin family. As the adults of the group conversed, the children of both families had secretly planned to play a prank on the adults. They
Uh-oh.
would sneak off south,
Oh,
behind the
I think I
trees
might
and
know this one.
bushes, and then rush north and pop out when the adults were least expecting it. The adults, of course, knew what the young children were planning, and so played along, acting nonchalant as they watched the boys walk off. The two children from the second family, along with Douglas Martin, would go south and then quickly west, while Dennis himself had headed northwest. At 4:30 p.m., William Martin watched as Douglas wandered off one way and Dennis the other. Dennis would walk into a few bushes, and it would be the very last time Dennis would ever be seen.
Uh-oh.
Despite the intense investigations that followed, Dennis Lloyd Martin would never return to his family, nor to the public, ever again. No remains have been discovered, and no proof of existence would ever reappear. It was as if Dennis had vanished off the face of the mountain, off the face of Earth. A small child can't just walk off into a bush and then disappear forever. Something happened to Dennis, and so when the news broke, investigations for Dennis grew exponentially. This would be the first of many, many issues. 1,400 overly eager citizens gathered with next to no experience in how to look for a missing person. And so,
See, I almost got lost in an open field on my dad's friend's property while my brother was looking at me. My ass would never explore woods alone. Dude, I got lost in the woods one time. I was like somewhere between like 5 and 7, but I found my way back. It was kind of crazy, not gonna lie. I was thinking about it the other day, and I remember my initial plan was to basically like walk up to this this highway that I knew was like miles and miles away. but it was like miles and miles away, and I was like young, so I don't know how that would have turned out. And if I did get to the highway, what would have happened once I got to the fucking highway, you know? But I ended up figuring out how to get back around thanks to a creek. I also think I had a dog with me. So it was like 7, 8, somewhere in there. But yeah, dude, it was kind of wild. I was thinking about it. Shit's crazy. What a crazy time. And then one time I got lost with my parents in the woods. That was cool. Not really lost, just like way farther away from where like we normally would go. It was honestly a fun time though, because like I was with my parents, so I knew what the fuck was going. Like I knew we would be okay.
Proceeded to overlook possible evidence.
Wait, what? Hold on, let me back up. Sorry, I was yapping about my story.
Gathered with next to no experience in how to look for a missing person, and so proceeded to overlook possible evidence.
Oh.
The search itself was consistently hindered from bad storms and flooding rains. And to make things worse, the search for Dennis Martin would soon be riddled with conspiracy theories. Theories of Bigfoot, mountain men, cannibals, and aliens would spread through these groups. Any time spent on debunking a conspiracy theory was time not spent looking for Dennis. Yet, these theories plagued on.
Mishmash! What's up,
On the afternoon
homie?
that Martin disappeared, a tourist claimed to have heard an enormous, sickening scream, to which they then witnessed what they described as an unkempt, shaggy, rough-looking man. This mystery man was running up the trail near where the scream had come from, carrying a cloth or clothing over his shoulder. The tourist claims his sighting happened roughly an hour after the disappearance of Dennis Martin, and only a few miles from the incident. However, when pressed for more information,
Mishmash, of course, homie. Ooh, halfway on Stray? What are you thinking of Stray so far? Isn't the game so fun?
the tourist's story began to fall apart as they lacked to provide additional information, such as proper time and location, and even stated that the mountain man hopped into a white van later down the trail. Another man, roughly 2 decades later, would make the bold claim that he found the skeletal remains of Dennis Martin while foraging for ginseng. Yet, he refused to tell anyone about it because of the fact that he was foraging illegally, so the information remained to himself. By 1985, once
I got the achievement of meowing 100 times super early. Oh my god, that's fire. I'm glad you're loving it. I gotta replay it again sometime soon. That game, oh my god, so sick. It also came at a really, like, nice time in my life. Yeah, hell yeah.
this man went public with this information, an investigation was done, and found no evidence to back up his story.
Oh.
Then, there's the theory of feral humans.
What?
Human beings that are so disconnected from society that they act barbaric in nature, animalistic, and uncivilized. These stories are popular for vacation trips, so it's of little surprise that people began believing these claims. A child
What?
goes missing in the mountains, combined with the first storyteller's claim, and that's all that's warranted for this to be true. Therefore, it needed to be investigated by authorities. Time and time again, the evidence was lackluster, and yet, due to the fame of the subject, time was still wasted looking for fictional horror tropes. Soon enough, Dennis's own tragedy became a conspiracy, claiming that Dennis Martin was merely a ploy to get the public to hunt for feral mountain men, all while William Martin searched day and night for his son, even for just a sign of his missing son. But any signs that were evident before the mass sweep over by non-experienced searchers may have already been erased. The night Dennis disappeared, a heavy thunderstorm had drenched the mountain, leaving 3-inch high floods and potentially washing away any and all footsteps. By June 22nd, over 50 square miles of land had been searched. During the timeline from him wandering into a bush to June 22nd, Dennis would have had a birthday, turning from 6 to 7 years old, all while thousands searched for him. And by September 14th, 1969, the search for Dennis Lloyd Martin was officially called off. He would be 62 years old by the time this video comes out. Many who venture into the wilderness return with stories of strange encounters. but some do not return at all.
Damn. Yo, what's up, JT? Yeah, this is fucking crazy, bro. All right, what do the comments have to say? I know I said I was only gonna stream for 4 hours, but bro, might have to watch. If there's another like banger recommended here, might have to watch another one. More Maverick Files. Let's fucking go. Meds not taken. Tendies in the oven. Tinfoil hat on head. Let's go, boys. This stuff scares me so much. Though people disappearing forever from residential areas scares me even more because it's way easier to end up hidden perfectly in a forest when you die, and it leaves more hope that you just died accidentally and aren't locked up in some psycho's basement. Yo, what? What the flip? Also, I don't know if it's just me or does the sound familiar to the forerunners of the Sentinels? I don't know what that is, but you're gonna like it in your comments. Okay? His imagination can definitely be crazy. I have a 6-year-old and he says some wild stuff, but I don't think he or any kid I've met could ever make something as crazy as a robot identical to their grandmother abducting them and then stage the whole thing. Wild story. I wonder what he thinks of it today now that he's older. True. What parent would wait 2 whole hours before reporting a missing 3-year-old? I don't know, dude. Mine? Damn. JT.
What the flip, man?
Thank you for the sub, brother. 18 months is fucking crazy.